guests, the media, and of course my fellow youth leaders. Welcome and thank you for choosing to be part of a brand new chapter in Mauritian social awareness. More than this also, thank you for choosing to encourage our youth on their proactive course ahead. We begin this chapter of Yuva with courage, commitment, passion, and more importantly, imagination. For the journey we embark on today marks the path we will blaze for a generation of like-minded youth. Just like with anything new, the opportunities exist for change to take place, and the pillars of Yuva are not only set in the foundation of creating those new ideas, but also continuing the growing momentum while always aiming to adapt to the ever-changing landscape that is our beautiful country. While I felt that change was needed, I pursued innovative techniques to adopting a new form of leadership, one that not only proves that old methods are no longer applicable, but one that indeed succeeds in its continued mission of inspiring undertakers no matter how tough the terrain may become. Yuva is about a new wave of leadership, one that intends to set a benchmark. We are not here to make a noise. We are here to be heard. We are here to listen to those who in the past may have not had the opportunity or reason to stand up and make a difference, and more importantly, we are here to give those very same unheard voices the platform and chance they so rightly deserve. It's time to set aside the cultural and historical limitations that have kept people from working together in the past for a greater good. While we are firm believers of tradition and we pay due respect it deserves, we too feel that it is time for tradition and innovation to combine and result in a remarkable platform where change is not only spoken of but indeed practiced on a daily basis. Yuva is about recognizing ideas exist within us all, and it is about harnessing those ideas collectively in order to ensure a far better tomorrow is awarded to those behind us. Like Warren Buffett once said, someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree long time back. Let us be the people who continue to inspire others behind us to carry on the legacy of innovation in leadership, and more than that, inspire the youth to forever more continue to take a proactive approach to life in general. The power rests with us, the youth. We are the inheritors of tomorrow, and not only are we tasked with making our ancestors proud, but we have to accept the responsibility of making sure we leave to our children a better life and way of thinking, even if we ourselves were not awarded such. It's time to break the cycle of oppression and putting ourselves down. We need a collective effort in order to everyone benefit, and that is exactly the core principle of what Yuva stands for, ensuring a better way of living for everyone, for the greater good. A nation prospers when it is encouraged, so why not be that encouragement? Our mission in front of us, I'm sure, like you can anticipate, is not an easy one. Transformative leadership never is, but it's about pushing through regardless of how hard it gets and keeping in the sights of common end goal of something better for everyone. The first steps to anything new in form are never easy, but I'm confident that my fellow Yuva members collectively possess the courage, determination, and willpower to achieve these pioneering steps. Let us not look at how things could have been done in the past and why have they not worked out, but rather let us focus on the new order of thinking. Let us look onwards to a country whose cultural richness serves as the ideal platform for promoting tolerance and cooperation. Yuva has not only got its work cut out for it because it is a new way of executing social change in Mauritius, but more than that, it has a huge task of creating something from the very bottom up. Where other organizations have a model to shape their ideas around, Yuva has only the will and imagination of something better that exists. Yuva had a chance to create that something new, and others down the line will be able to work from and be inspired because it exists. Yuva is the beginning of something truly great in all shape and form. Too long have we allowed ourselves to be crumpled by ideas and principles that are in no way geared for us or improving our way of living and existing. Too long have we taken for granted, and change cannot be enforced by the youth, and too long have we let apathy and monotony sink in and keep us in a stagnant, uninspired area of our life. My fellow leaders, guests and colleagues, the time to take this power back is now. The time to act for a better tomorrow is today, and the time to put aside this oppressive way of thinking, as of now, is a figment of our imaginations. Let us have the courage and determination to counteract all barriers and school of thoughts. Let us have the strength to break any dogmatism that has crept into our daily lives, and more than anything, let us stop simply existing and rather start living the great lives we are all more than entitled to live. More than wanting to see change take place at the hands of our youth, I want Yuva to be that guiding and ongoing inspiration whose legacy outlives its founders. Let us be the foundation for the greatness that Yuva is capable of, and let us always remember that working together for the common good will always be of the benefit of anyone and everyone. Yuva sees no form of barrier within its ranks. We see no difference in culture and ethnicity. What Yuva sees is determined souls of all shapes and forms who work towards improving humanity as a whole. Let us be the examples for society to follow suit. Let us be the guide that shows there is a human within us all, who has something in common with someone out there, regardless of where they are from or who they are. And let us always encourage anyone and everyone to work with us together to achieve common goals. May we never forget that those who preceded us for it was their ingenuity and bravery that so many of us have today to be grateful for. If it weren't for the groundbreakers before us, we may never have had the opportunity to continue this cycle of change, and we may never have known what the true meaning of inspiration was and will always be. That is why I appeal to the fellow youth in spirit, like our MC had just said, both present today in the greatest society in Mauritius, to remember the past as a lesson and take from it the goodness and ideals that should be carried forward, while always adapting the ideals to suit the modern evolution of society. Let innovation and passion forever be preserved in the notion that no good can come from lingering in old ideas and territory. Let us continue to adapt to the ever-changing world and encourage our fellow Mauritians to stand together to improve their situation at large. But more than anything, my esteemed guests, let us never lose the will to do better. It is the fire that burns deep within ourselves that loses nothing by igniting the fire in others. Be that fire, be the change, and allows you to be yourself. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends, I think Krishna has just extolled all the virtues of voluntary work. So what I will try to do is try to give a synthetic speech. You don't understand this by training, so I tend to be synthetic. So I will try and share some thoughts with you today, and hopefully, as Krishna has said, let us be ourselves, let us leave a legacy, and let us see how we can all work together for empowering and benefiting our country. So I think we are gathered here today as we all feel that we are on an important mission. Celebrate the youth of Mauritius who want to, I quote from the website of Yuva, to be empowered so that they participate in the process of meaningful change. Yuva, or rather Youth United in Voluntary Action, I think is a brainchild of Mauritian youngsters who feel engaged with the Mauritian society and who want to further its well-being through voluntary work. What a wonderful and refreshing initiative, as we are increasingly living in a world where people are increasingly being benchmarked against their material wealth. This reminds me of a quote from Robert Kennedy. I quote, "Each time a man stands up for an ideal, or acts to improve the lot of others, or strikes out against injustice, he sends forth a tiny ripple of hope, and crossing each other for a million different centers of energy, and daring those ripples build a current that can sweep down the mightiest wall of oppression and resistance," unquote. We are in Mauritius, as Amitav Ghosh said in his book, The Sea of Poppies. I hope you have had a chance to read The Sea of Poppies. If you haven't, I would seriously recommend it, because it gives the history behind the journey of our ancestors living in India on the common jahaz. For those of you who don't understand jahaz, it's means the ship, the boat. And as he rightly says, all of us, we are jahazi high and jahazi there. And we share this small and beautiful country, a country which I consider to be a microcosm of the world in terms of our cultural and linguistic inheritance. How can the youth of today make a difference in a place like Mauritius, you ask? How does one inculcate the culture of respect and discipline? How do we show transparency in our actions? How do we show that we really mean what we say? How do we truly value our neighbors and friends? I think these are questions that Krishna has already said how he will actually tackle this. I think all this can be achieved if, I think, we possess an overarching gift, the gift of genuine love for each other. When one is prepared to give some of our valuable time to the elderly, to the lesser privileged members of our society, through love and with love. And here I mean love, of course, in the widest sense of the word. We would have made a great step forward. There is also one concept that comes to mind. Again, we are here focused on voluntary work. Voluntary work that will transcend all our differences. And I'm happy to see that precisely what Yuva is embarking on. And don't forget, love is also empowerment. However, as you young people, you are all the future of this country. I mean, I already belong to the past generation. I feel that to ensure that this effort you are embarking on comes a long-term one. I think it also has been captured in the previous speaker's presentation. But I think there are also other ingredients that you need to have and on which you can in turn inculcate to others through your future endeavors. And I will focus only in two words: education and learning. People will say, what's the difference? And I think I will try to explain what the difference is. I think we all appreciate the value of education. You talk to any parent. You will be one day, I hope, sometime in your life. And the prime concern of parents is, my child needs to get a proper education to move on in life and to climb the social ladder. Education is the weapon against poverty, and here I will quote another great man, Madiba, or Nelson Mandela, who said, education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. Now, once a lot has been said on education, little has been said on learning. Learning leads to creativity. Creativity improves thinking. Thinking enhances knowledge. And knowledge brings inner strength and greatness. You may not have seen the word learning in that sense, but one facet of knowledge is also righteousness. If you have righteousness in your heart, you will be at peace with yourself. If you are at peace with yourself, you will be at peace at home, at work. This leads to harmony in institutions and eventually in the nation and ultimately the world. This brings me to another important component of character building: courage and willpower. Yes, have the willpower to think and act, not better, as Steve Jobs said, but do things differently. Have the will to create, have the will to tackle the impossible. Even in impossible, there is a word possible. Have the courage and willpower to confront the problems of society. Have the courage to assert your own identity. Always be proud of who you are. And more importantly, avoid getting enclosed in dogma. This brings me to another facet of knowledge, which is the indomitable spirit. Here I will quote another famous scientist by coincidence, Professor Abdul Kalam, and of course Professor C.V. Raman, who was of course India's Nobel Prize winner in physics. And here I will quote Professor Raman. I quote, "I would like to tell the young men and women before me not to lose hope and courage. Success can only come to you by courageous devotion to the task lying in front of you. I can assert without fear of contradiction that the quality of the Indian mind is equal to the quality of any Teutonic, Nordic, Anglo-Saxon mind. What we lack is perhaps courage. What we lack is perhaps the driving force which takes one anywhere. We have, I think, developed an inferiority complex. I think what is needed in India today, I think this to be true for Mauritius, is the destruction of that defeatist spirit. We need a spirit of victory, a spirit that will carry us to a rightful place under the sun, a spirit which will recognize that we as inheritors of a proud civilization are entitled to a rightful place on this planet. If that indomitable spirit were to arise, nothing can hold us from achieving our rightful destiny." Youth like yourselves, I'm sure, have a clear picture of what you want to become in life. You have started a good footing with Yuva, and you should also have clear aims and well-defined destination. I think you already have that. Talking of a destination, it is our human instinct to stay in our comfort zone. It's safer to go down the trodden path, and very few dare to create a path of your own. As Ralph Waldo Emerson said, do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path, and leave a trail. Once the trail has been mapped, work hard to reach that destination without deviation. Remember, there is no substitute for hard work. Let the days of youth not be spent in vain. Also know that no person has not faced failure in life. If anybody comes and tells you I have never failed, you can rightly turn around and say, well, because you haven't tried hard enough. That's why you never failed. So yes, my dear young friends, be proud of who you are. Be bold. Be generous, I think you already are with your time. Be self-confident. Learn to uphold your dreams. Think big, even if you come from tiny Mauritius. And let us work together for our people, the Mauritian people, and build a new Mauritius through the lens of education and learning. Thank you for your attention.